Has the board had a chance to review the minutes of our last meeting?
Yes, we have a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
They are approved. Department heads and committees, Dave Flaherty, our health agent.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Dave Flaherty, health agent for the town of Raynham. It's picking up, it's summertime, so it's been busy. And unfortunately, the health inspector, Lou Bousquet's been out. He hasn't been feeling well, so maybe out for another few more weeks, we're not sure. So I may be approaching Randy about maybe a solution to that, just a temporary solution like we did in the past. So, but a lot of applications and permits are being processed with the generous help and attention of the Raynham Police Department. We accomplished a tobacco compliance check. It was performed on 2 days, May 4th and May 12th. They did approximately 39 locations, and there were 3 sales to minors. I processed the letters, and actually the green cards have come back, so they're on notice. They have a choice whether they can pay the fine or receive free education to prevent this from happening again. So, as far as I know, the bill that the state is considering raising the age to 21, they haven't really done anything with it. There's still hearings and things like that, so things that the state moves slowly. But it is a hot button topic, and I think it'll happen sooner rather than later. It's got a lot of support, and I know Charlie Baker, our governor, has a pen in hand waiting for it. So that's about it.
Great, thanks. Any questions for Dave?
Just one. Are we the only ones now? Surrounding towns all done? I know Brockton did, Easton did.
Yeah, Easton, Bridgewater.
Bridgewater.
Taunton still is 18,
Middleborough.
and West Bridgewater, I believe, is still 18.
Middleborough, Barclay. So it's about half and half.
Okay.
But they're all lining up. If they don't do it soon, they're probably going to wait until the state does it. So I guess it's just something to consider. And if you want to take a proactive step, that'd be great. But I think it's going to be 21, if not by the end of the year, then early next year. So, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
All right,
for your
thanks,
time.
Dave. No appointments this evening, no public hearings, new business. We have Attorney Fagan in with a request. Jim, would you like me to read you a letter, or would you rather just talk to us?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No problem.
If I may, I just sort of talk to you rather than
Please,
have you read
absolutely.
the letter.
And if you don't mind, everybody knows you, but for those at home, can you just identify yourself for the record?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, and members of the board, for the record, my name is James Fagan. I'm an attorney. I practice law at 26 Dean Street in Taunton. I've been in practice there for 43 years now. It kind of surprises me to think that, to tell you the truth. I was looking at how old Raynham is, and I feel almost as old sometimes. So, at any rate, I greatly appreciate the opportunity to come before this board and appear in the town of Raynham. I represent New Telecommunications, Inc., and the principals are all here tonight. Stan Webb is right here. Mr. Webb is actually the principal and president. His daughter Jackie, who is one of the technical people and developers of the program, and Romy Jones Jr., who's right here. Romy is actually the person who is the communications specialist and oversees the way that this equipment really does operate, to make it operate correctly. Basically, the product that we're seeking to be able to bring to the town of Raynham is a hybrid bundled kiosk. What it is, it's an information data PIN vending machine. And because that even sounds strange to me to say to anybody else, and I'm not particularly technologically competent, what it is it's a vending machine that is manufactured, sold, serviced, installed, and everything else by New Telecommunications. They bring it to the location, to the vendor who's willing to put it in his store. They install it, they service it, they provide all the service for it. So, as a vending machine, it sells a product, and the product that it sells is data. It is technically called a information data PIN vending machine with a customer loyalty-based amusement redemption skill game. That's a big mouthful of stuff. It means it does two things. Number one, everyone who approaches this machine and buys something is buying a product, and the product that they're buying is 50 minutes of data. You have between 15 and 20 data information sources. It's very similar to a Verizon Golden Retriever, an AT&T information on the go type of product that those two much larger companies sell. In addition to selling that information and the information vending, it provides the consumer with up to 50 minutes or 5 10-minute phone calls anywhere in the United States for free. And the way that it does that is when you use the machine, and it costs you $1. So when you spend your $1, it gives you literally a printout, which is a data type of a printout that has, it looks like an old cash register slip. But what that cash register slip contains is an identification PIN number and the number of different numbers that you have got to, what you do to use this is you dial your access number, which is provided when you get this printout on your phone, and then you insert your PIN number, which you have bought for the $1. That allows you up to 50 minutes, 5 10-minute phone calls anywhere, absolutely free in the continental United States. It also allows you to make calls to a data information network in the cloud, which allows you to access local weather, local traffic conditions, any emergency signals that come in. All of that is also available to you. So for those people that don't have the access to be a member of a network, but have a phone that they've bought, like I forget what they call those phones, that you see many people with them that can't afford to be in a network. This gives them the ability to make a number of free phone calls every time they spend $1. That is the product aspect of this of the kiosk. Next, when you look at it, it looks something like a somewhat futuristic, or today not so futuristic, game machine that you might see in a video arcade or something like that. And it gives you access if you wish to play. In fact, once you bought the product, the machine will ask you if you would like to participate in the consumer loyalty program, which is a product that allows you to participate in a game of skill, and that's very important determination, because if it were a game of chance, it would run afoul of the lottery, but there is no chance involved in this game whatsoever. You score points based on your skill in answering questions or performing various functions which the game sets up for you to see on a screen, much like a video board. And at the end of that, those are redeemable for certain prizes of value. And the other aspect of the machine is they're redeemable for products in the store. We market these in large measure to local convenience stores, mobile marts, Pete's Gas, the small stores that you see in the neighborhood that are, your neighborhood type of store has them in the store, and they are the places where they principally provided. Also in restaurants, also in places, believe it or not, like laundromats, or places where people have time to spend and may want to do something, because the other aspect of this machine is that you can play this absolutely for free, except you're not getting any of the points to redeem for the for value. So if I may, Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to show you like a printout that demonstrates what the machine looks like and the game looks like, and also one of the printouts of some of the redeemables that are with this. So I think the real aspect that has been very popular in our clients and the people who place these in their store is that that people can use the points to buy products. When you have a certain number of points, they have a value to them. So, for example, if you win $10 worth of points and you're in one of the convenience stores, you can use those points to purchase anything that you want that's sold in the store, with two exceptions. You cannot purchase tobacco with it, and I heard your discussion about that earlier tonight, and you cannot purchase alcohol with it. But if you were in a place and you wanted to get some groceries, eggs, whatever it might be, you can apply that towards your bill. So, or if you're in a place that serves food, you can apply it towards your actual food cost, not the liquor cost. But you can reduce your food costs in restaurants or places that have them, which have also been very popular in some of those type of establishments as well. I think to the merchant, the attractive part of this to a merchant, to a business owner that accepts one of these or places one in their store, it costs them absolutely nothing except the licensing fee. In the city of Taunton, for example, these are licensed for $100 a year, and it's the merchant that holds the license, and they are licensed by the machine. So if you have two machines, you need a license for each machine for the year, and that's the type of license that the city of Taunton grants on these machines. That's the only expense incurred, as well as perhaps the electricity to run it. So how do they make their money? And this is what makes it attractive to merchants. They get 50% of all the money that's placed in this machine. So if you would, look at this machine as sort of like an ATM that accepts money instead of your credit card. When you put your dollar in there to buy the product, that all adds up. And at the end of it, there's a regular accounting between Newtel Communications and the store owner right in the store, where they literally, the machine literally keeps a running track of all the money that's been placed in it, just like a register would, and it tells the merchant how much money was spent in it. That merchant gets 1/2 of whatever was spent. In addition to that, the 1/2 is 1/2 of the gross spent. So let's say the merchant redeems a product in his store for $10, and he has that. Not only does he get he gets his half out of the gross. So in other words, the company absorbs the cost of any merchandise that the merchant may have sold. It makes a very attractive product for the merchant to have in their store at virtually no risk to them and no cost other than the licensing fee. Early on, when I began representing Newtel and was trying to learn all the different things that the machines did, and in fact have the opportunity to try to use them and play them, which I'll be very honest, I'm not particularly good at. I think my 6-year-old granddaughter would be much more efficient in playing the machine than I was. But the fact of the matter is, they're attractive. They give people a way to spend their time, and the aspect of it that allows somebody who's just in the store that doesn't want to buy the product to still be able to play, I think makes it a particularly fair deal for people in the store. People are actually very satisfied with the product, because the type of person that uses this and plays it is someone who probably is not fortunate enough or in a position where they actually have a phone system or belong to a network that lets them make interstate long-distance charge without incurring a great debt. So, for example, let's say that you're going away somewhere and you want to be able to call home on a vacation from California. That could become very expensive for your phone if you're reversing the charge or putting the charges in to call home, or if you have kids that are away at school and you can't afford to give them a phone with a plan that allows them all the time free access. You can give them this PIN number, and they're entitled for $1. They're able to make 50 minutes worth of phone calls home with no other charge than the dollar that perhaps you as a parent incurred by using this machine in one of the local stores. I was asked a question that someone asked, can you regulate how old you can do this? We are absolutely comfortable with a regulation on the license that would limit this to 18 and older for any type of user. So if there's a question of that was asked, it's a sensible question. It's certainly, I think that's reasonable. I've fortunate enough to sit down and listen to your discussion about raising the tobacco age, and it's a power that you have as the guardians of the well-being in this town. It's something that you people have within your ability to take care of. So I believe I included it in the letter, but Mr. Webb has been in this business now for some number of years. He started locally. He's a local businessman. He's expanding all the time. Speaking with Stan tonight, he's in the midst of looking to make his business a national business by involving himself with other similar companies and alike, and the information providers in this type of a business. But right now, we are licensed in Fall River, we're licensed in New Bedford, we're licensed in Fairhaven, we're licensed in Wareham. We got our license in Taunton to install these in businesses on, I believe it was February the 17th of this year. We went through the process of going before the licensing board in the city of Taunton, demonstrating to them how the machine works. And making it available to whomever wanted to see it, or whoever wanted to ask any questions about it, or about the way the business worked. I think it's valuable for local businesses as a tool, because it gives them something that they really don't have money tied up in, and it makes a regular return. And it seems that this is something that builds a regular clientele, so that people who come in and use this become people that do that regularly when they come in and they're buying their groceries, or they're getting the newspaper in the morning, or picking up that quart of milk that they didn't get when they were at Market Basket or something like that. They come in and they tend to regularly do that, much the way many people buy a scratch ticket every day. That's why our lottery runs so well in the state. People enjoy doing it. They are entertained by it. The stores that sell them make a profit on it, and in this, the profit is 50% of whatever the gross is. So it's really quite successful for the businessmen. I do my best to answer any questions that any of you may have about how the machine works, or what other aspects you should know about. Let me just say one other thing, and I just want to demonstrate this as well, because it was very important that people understand that this required an application to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, as well as an approval by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I have copies of both of those that I present to you, Mr. Chairman, and to the members of the board. Just so that when the reasonable questions are put to us about is this legal, is it okay, what are we doing, we've gone to the state for state approval of the machines. We've had a determination by the Massachusetts Court of Appeals that these are not gaming machines, that they do not fall under the state's definition of gambling, because they are in fact games of skill. So we're not violating the gaming codes. I know that Mr. Webb, on behalf of Newtel, is regularly in communications with the state lottery, just to make sure that everything is comfortable with them, and also with the ABC for all of those types of reasons. So we're out in the open. This isn't this isn't like the old days when you'd go into certain clubs, and many of us were familiar with it, in the back rooms, secret to all but the closest of members, and only after admission by a secret sign and a special code into a lock in the door, you went out and they had a poker machine. That's not this. This isn't the poker machine that we saw around in the 80s or the 90s that caused all kinds of interesting problems for different, otherwise real good organizations, and this is not that, not to be compared with it. Thank you.
Any questions, Karen?
So you said that the lottery is fine with it and things like that?
They're always reviewing it.
Okay. And is it just take cash, or does it take credit cards as well, or is it strictly cash?
Does it take credit cards in the future? Yeah, it doesn't right now. Right, the one that we've got right now is you put $1 in, sort of like in a change machine, that sort of thing with the face up.
And who comes and empties it? That company?
The company comes and empties it, but the merchant gets a printout, just like a ATM. So there's, the money it's right there and printed out in black and white, everything that it took in. And so in easy math, if it took in $100, the merchant's gonna get 50. And if the merchant had to pay out $10 worth of merchandise, he keeps a receipt for that. And rather than him get 50 and lose the $10 worth of merchandise, we reimburse the merchant $10 from what have been our share of the split. So it's really,
Okay,
we're splitting the gross with them.
gotcha.
That was one of the questions I had.
Yeah.
Who's going to pay back the
Yeah.
$10 that I just gave you milk and bread and whatever for?
Yeah, so the good news though, when you think of it, Ms. Smith, is if somebody wins something in the place, it encourages them to spend their money on the merchandise in the place. So merchandise moves and it's a win for everybody.
On average, what does a machine like that take in? Say in a typical day, just to...
Stan, you're probably, let me tell you two things. One of them, we've got them in all kinds of locations. Any location that wants one that, within reason,
Right.
that looks like it, we'll put one in. Some places are very high traffic where we have them. We have them in some of the mobile marts and places like that do a big business of people walking in, buying papers and spending $1 to buy the product. They do well, and some of the others I don't know, but Stan, I'm sure, who's on top of the numbers.
Depending on location, also, we have a low of $3 to $4 in a week, and as high as a couple $100. So, but.
And you do this weekly, or do you do it daily?
It depends. Sometimes it's every 2 weeks, sometimes it's once a month, sometimes it's once every 3 months.
I imagine it would depend on where it was located.
Right, and the volume of the store.
Traffic.
The other thing that he did miss is that it's also good on cell phones. For example, you went down to the Bahamas, if you were to use your cell phone, they're going to charge you $3 a minute. If you use the card, you're not going to be charged $3 a minute. It's going to be what's available on your card. It bypasses a lot of supercharges that aren't supposed to be there. But it's changing too. We're also in the process right now of ending up in a Skype situation where you'll be able to use the same pins in competition with Skype and have a video conferencing and call home to see your wife, your son, your daughter from California or from Hawaii or worldwide for that matter on the VIP system. We have also other websites coming along, and there's a lot of things happening over the next month. We finally finalized, been working on it for 6 years. It's finally over, thank God. But when that comes in, I'll give you guys an update on everything that's happening too.
Thank
So
you.
you'll always be fully abreast.
Thank you.
No, I don't have any more.
Thank you.
I think, Attorney Fagan, what we'll do, unless there's a significant objection from you and your clients, is we'll take it under advisement with a vote scheduled for 2 weeks out, just to allow, if there's any questions from our home audience, to submit to us, to relay on to you.
Thank you very much. We have no objection whatsoever.
Right.
We greatly appreciate the expedient way in which you were able to see us, and as always, I always enjoy coming to Raynham, I really do.
We enjoy having you.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful
Have a
night.
good night.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, old business, Mr. Roberts.
Nothing.
Mrs. Smith.
Good.
Town Administrator's Report, Mr. Buckner.
On the Guardian Street surplus parcels, the sale was completed last week, and we got a check today for the total was $40,000 for the two parcels, so that's good news. On the Senior Clerk Treasurer Collector's Office, we had interviews today, and we have some more tomorrow. Upcoming next Selectmen's meeting, June 14th, we have Jim Janis and Ed Buckley coming in. I have a Sursage monthly meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. in Mansfield. And Karen and I have OPIU negotiations tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you. Any questions for Randy? Elections report, Ms. Roberts.
Just that we had a great turnout at the gazebo for Memorial Day, and I want to thank everybody that participated, including Pat Riley and Mrs. Leahy. And also, there's going to be the VR graduation this Sunday. I'll be attending. I don't know if anybody else is going. No? Okay. And that would be it.
Convention.
Perfect. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Roberts. Mrs. Smith.
Well, obviously, to echo Karen, we had a parade. We had a wonderful parade, and I rode in the trolley. Mr. Pacheco and Karen walked in the sun. They did a good job. Joe was sick, but he did it, Randy. He walked anyway.
I did.
He said he was going to tough it out, and he did. And look at, you know what? It actually cured him because he's so it was a good thing all around. It was a good thing all around. But it was a wonderful, wonderful parade, and Mrs. Leahy made a comment. Last year, I did say that, didn't I? I said, next year it will be bigger and better. And you took up that challenge, and it was bigger and better. And it will grow. Every year it's going to grow. It was wonderful. You girls have done a fantastic job. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Mrs.
I
Smith.
think they'd like to say a couple
Yeah, I'll
words.
take you two out of order now. Pat and Mrs. Leahy, if you want to come down.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and we, Pat Riley and Sandy Leahy, we just want to thank everybody for helping make our 4th annual Raynham Memorial Day Parade a great success. It was a real, as usual, team effort from lots of sectors in Raynham. Sandy, obviously, and Taryn Riley are our co-chairs for our Rave Salute to Veterans Committee, which was the birthplace, we could say, of our parade. And Kim Dolan, our Rave coordinator. Kim is our unsung hero. She does so much behind the scenes, doesn't like to be in front of the camera or the microphone, but she does so much to help. Pam Manconi in our town clerk's office was one of our key committee members as well. And our meetings, Marie Smith, now a member of our Rave Board of Directors, also on our parade committee. Can't say enough about our fire chief, Jimmy Janis, was at most of our meetings. And of course, our fire department helps put out those beautiful flags. And obviously, our police department helping out. All of our schools had floats. Our superintendent was there as well, of course. And our business manager, our American Legion Post 405, Jimmy Banks, and Bill Ryder have been, part of our team effort from the very beginning, and just everybody from town comes together and pulls together and makes it, as usual, a great Raynham event. And as you mentioned, every year bigger and better, and we were able to make it bigger this year because of our successful fundraising effort. I think it's important to note that it's totally privately financed. It comes through donations from organizations and individuals. We had a great successful fundraiser last October, our comedy night, and October 1st, we're having another one to do that again. Our 772nd military unit from Taunton helps out so much. Sandy's son, Chris Leahy, was our awesome master of ceremonies. I just can't say enough for everybody that helped out. And the people along the route that put out their flags and put out their banners, and the adorable kids that came dressed in, red, white, and blue. I think it's amazing there's anybody left to watch the parade when we have so many people that are in the parade. But it's just a great effort, and we want to, thank everybody for helping to make that happen. Sandy?
Yep, I agree. You have our back. You support us. It's so important, and I was going to say as well, people may not realize the time, the effort, the amount of people involved in putting this together to make it run properly, etiquette, whatever. But I also want to thank the people of Raynham, other towns who came out to watch the parade. I think it's our responsibility as citizens on Memorial Day. I know there's grocery shopping, there's lawns to cut, all that stuff that we all need to do, but the people who were at the parade and then that followed us to the gazebo for the ceremony, thank you to them. Because to me, they're doing the right thing and giving some of their time to be thoughtful of our fallen heroes. So, thank you very much.
Thank you both.
Our CERT team helped too this year. We went at Kevin Marrera and our CERT team, working through the fire chief, they helped coordinate the effort along the route, and that's a real huge help too, because if we're at the beginning of the parade, it's hard to know what's going on at the end of the parade. And retired Police Chief Peter King, he's kind of the staging director, and he makes sure everything steps off on time. That 10 o'clock sharp, we're marching, but without a question. So.
Pat, your Rave volunteers, I saw them all over the place.
Right.
They did a great job.
Absolutely.
Directing everybody to where they should be. And yes, Kevin Marrera, he was running alongside the trolley at one point, yelling things up to us. His whole team did wonderful. They did wonderful.
We even had some people from the Bridgewater CERT team that came and
Yep.
helped out as well.
Yep.
And the Bridgewater Fire Department helping out with the Raynham Fire Department. Our BR marching band, oh my gosh, in their warm uniforms. They did a great job. And,
It did. Special thanks to them because it was hot.
Yeah.
And with their long, heavy uniform and everything.
Right.
And no complaint.
No.
No complaint.
No,
It was
no.
wonderful.
Obviously, it was, it
Again,
was a
thank you,
great
thank you.
effort. And if I could just mention too, Rave, important week for Rave, because on Friday we're celebrating Rave's 35th anniversary, 35 years old, started in 1981. We're expecting Shoshana Garshik, who started Rave with her little committee, but back in 1981, she's going to be paying a visit to Raynham and joining us for a special celebration. And, the important thing about Rave is it's so much community. It's not just the schools. It's the schools coordinating with the rest of the community and adapting to what works for the town. Taking on the new project of the Memorial Day Parade because we felt that was a need. Again, connecting the kids and the community, and thankfully we have Sandy, who is an expert at that from her days as a kindergarten teacher and teaching the kids patriotism. And it's something that you pass on one generation to the next, and so important part of our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Correspondence. We have a check for $28,000 to the town from Ron Turowitz, and Randy's advised me we need to accept this as a gift, and what this is to reimburse the town for work we will be doing to repave Locust Street. All in favor? That is approved. From our town clerk to the Board of Selectmen, after doing a yearly review of our fees, we are recommending a change of the fee for the automatic amusement device licenses. Currently, our fee is $35 per machine. We are proposing the fee be $50 per machine effective July 1, 2016. Marcia Sylvia, Town Clerk.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is approved. We have an invitation from Bristol County Aggie for their high school graduation Thursday, June 9th at 7 o'clock in Dayton, Massachusetts. We are welcome to attend if we'd like. And then we have 2 tag days, one from Southeastern Mass Extreme Royal for June 29th, July 5, and June 22nd. And the other is from Ultimate Stars Athletics for June 24th, July 8th, and 29th, and October 14th. And they've all been okayed by Randy. Do I have a
Move to
motion?
accept. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
They are approved. No other correspondence, seeing no press time this evening. Any emergency business?
Nothing.
Nope.
Seeing no citizens or community members present, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And just a reminder to everybody, we'll be back in 2 weeks, as next week is our first Tuesday off. Thank you.